Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. A film star, also incidentally a Padma Shri award winner, Miss Kangana Ranaut made a statement when she was being interviewed in a conclave or some kind of a function in Times Now. She was interviewed by this lady called Navika Kumar, who was the anchor, and there were a lot of audience sitting in the front, and she said, listen, you know what, India got the real independence after 2014, which I presume she is talking about after Mr. Narendra Modi taking over as the Prime Minister. She said before that it was just bheek. Before that it was charity. We didn't get real independence before that. The anchor kept quiet and the audience applauded. I'm going to talk not about Kangana Ranaut because I don't want to talk about her. I am going to talk about that anchor who was sitting in front, who was a very senior journalist, who was sitting in front of her and who was interviewing her. And I want to talk about that audience who applauded on the statements. Let's get right into the show. First of all, let me clarify once again. My focus of this editorial is not on what Kangana Ranaut said. Of course, the argument, the point stems from the fact of what she said. But that's not the focus of my argument. The focus of my argument is that there was a senior journalist sitting there, listening to her and saying nothing in defense, nothing to retaliate to what stupidity she mentioned, she said in that forum. This editorial is about those people who were sitting around her and clapping for her, applauding her, possibly endorsing what she said. Now, let me get back to what happened. This is what she had to say. Just hear this out.
And they paid a price, of course. वो आज़ादी नहीं थी, वो भीख थी, और जो आज़ादी मिली है, वो 2014 में मिली है.
इसीलिए सब आपको कहते हैं कि आप भगवा हैं.
अभी मुझ पे 10 केस और होने वाले हैं इसके बाद.
So this Padma Shri award winning actress said that we got our freedom as bheek. Our actual freedom happened after 2014, which I presume she's saying that it's after Mr. Narendra Modi took over as the Prime Minister, which is what she wanted to say. And the anchor kept quiet and the crowd there applauded to what she said. Now, before I get into what is the danger, why is that dangerous to our country, let me go back and talk a little about our freedom struggle. Let's put things into perspective as we usually do. You see, our mass-scale, large-scale freedom rebellion, freedom struggle started in 1857. It went on till 1947 when we got our freedom. In fact, there are a lot of stories, lot of recorded history where there has been freedom struggle in 1710 to 1757. This was in Tamil Nadu when, they were fighting against the British presence in Tamil Nadu, so on and so forth. Then, so right from 1700, there has been a lot of stories, lot of recorded history about our freedom struggle. But our large-scale freedom struggle, like I said, started off in 1857. Now, let me give you some figures. According to unconfirmed figures, because there is no confirmed figure on this one, according to unconfirmed figure, one set of unconfirmed figures says that close to 8 lakh people laid down their lives to get us our freedom. 8 lakh people, 8 lakh families lost their loved ones, most of them young. According to another set of records, close to 10 lakh people lost their lives to get us our freedom. 10 lakh, 1 million people gave their lives, shed their blood. We all know about our great martyrs, people like Mangal Pandey, 1857, to Chandrasekhar Azad, to Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, Sukhdev, to great people who walked to their gallows, smiling, laid their lives down for Mother India. I want to talk to you about another girl, another 19-year-old girl. Her name is Kanaklata Barua. Kanaklata Barua was from Assam. Kanaklata Barua, they say, was a born freedom fighter. She was a freedom fighter from the day she was possibly born, they say. And one can't even debate that, is because this little girl, she joined the Quit India movement in 1942. And when she was 19 in 1942, on the 20th of September, she had joined another group called the Mrityu Bahini, the Suicide Squad. This little girl, 19-year-old girl, wanted to hoist the Indian flag on a police station controlled by the British those days. She wanted to hoist the Indian flag, and like most of the freedom fighters then, she went unarmed with an Indian flag. She and her friends walked into that police station, and you know what the cops did? They shot her. They shot her point blank in her chest. The bullet went through and through her. She died instantly. This 19-year-old Kanaklata Barua. You know, when I heard that statement yesterday, I was wondering, is this woman trying to say that Kanaklata Barua's death was worth nothing? Was she trying to say that she died for nothing and the freedom was a bheek to us? I want to ask this film star, what was she doing when she was 19? She was dreaming of becoming a film star. She was dreaming of making money. She was dreaming of becoming an international celebrity. And this 19-year-old Kanaklata Barua, a person who was genuinely a nationalist, a person who loved her country, she was preparing to die. And you know, that's why this statement hurts. But like I said, it is not about this film star statement, because she is used to making controversial statement, and she possibly makes this kind of controversial statement to stay relevant. Otherwise, who is going to talk about her? Who is going to ask her? But I am more bothered about a constitutional, I am bothered about a journalist who was sitting there. A journalist who was sitting there, and a journalist who is an editor of one of India's largest media houses, the Times of India Group. She was sitting there and she said nothing. She said nothing to her. She didn't stop her. She didn't correct her. You see, a journalist is a fourth pillar of our democracy. If there is no media, our democracy will fall. There is a responsibility that we have as journalists, and each of us carry that burden. And when something of this sort was said in her studio, and when she kept quiet, she was actually breaching her duty as a journalist. She didn't do her duty as a journalist, and what scares me was the crowd that clapped for a statement like this. So this is the first reason I wanted to do this editorial, because somewhere down the line, media creates narrative. Narrative creates collective thinking, and collective thinking in future becomes the culture of a country. Is this going to be our culture, and the way we are going about? This seems to be what we are going to end up being. We've got MPs who praises Nathuram Godse, who shot the father of the nation. We've got MPs who sing their praise. We got people who talks weird things about our founding fathers. Is this what we are going to end up being? That's what scares me. That's the reason I did this editorial. The second reason I'm doing this editorial is because somewhere down the line, in a democracy, law is equal for everybody. In a democracy, you don't ever say that show me the man and I will show you the rule. आदमी दिखाओ भाई, फिर हम बताएंगे rule क्या है. So somebody is put into UAPA because somebody said something, and somebody says whatever they want to, but they are given Padma Shris and C+ security. That is no law, and that is no democracy. And that's what's scaring me, and that's why this editorial. That's why this topic today. Because this questions the sheer existence of our democracy. This will change the way India is if this continues. And this is happening very, very often. And that's why this editorial. I was indeed sad. I am told that today Times of India has made a statement saying that it is not their view, it is the view of that. In fact, let me read out the tweet to you, which Times of India released. Now they said that Kangana Ranaut may think India got independence in 2014, but this cannot be endorsed by any true Indian. This is an insult to millions of freedom fighters who gave up their lives so that the present generation can live a life of self-respect and dignity as free citizens of a democracy. This is what Times of India said. Well, this is too late, too little. Times of India should have asked their anchor, or possibly changed their editor if that is what if they genuinely feel what they wrote. Because I believe, as a journalist. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening to me, and do subscribe to us. Till I see you next time. Namaskar.